Hello everybody, Travis here for Tpull's Corner with a deck I call Recurring Nightmare. There's a combination I did before with Meticulous Excavation and The Princess Takes Flight, where we exile creatures and then we just bring it back up with Meticulous Excavation and we can exile another creature. And somebody pointed out in the comments, oh, we could just do like a Chargrid's Lantern thing with Hopeless Nightmare again, and they said they hated it. Which is fine, but while you're hating it, it gave me the idea. So we still have Princess Takes Flight and Excavation. And we're going to take out some stuff. We actually just want to get rid of a card draw to start with. So they activate that, they lose defender, so now they can attack. I wonder if they have a counter spell. Start with this. So they lose Bitter Chill. They know we have this. Do we use it? Yeah. If they have a counterspell, I want to see it now. No counterspell, no unsummon. I wonder what the rest of the cards in the deck are for. Bring that back up. We can't bring it down immediately to advance. Back up the Hopeless Nightmare. Now they're starting to understand we can take either creatures, we can make a discard. Got rid of Ronda's Vortex. Let's bring Nightmare back up again. Cast it again. Basically 2 discard spells in the same turn, but it's not costing us anything from our hand. Run his Vortex again. Okay, that'll work. I'm going to destroy this enchantment now. Draws me a card. They still lose their creature. I'm not really worried about a one-on-one, 1 point of damage type thing. So we bring the Nightmare back up. bring it down. Force them to get rid of something else that's good. And now we gain 4 life and draw a card. Okay. They kind of knew that they had to do something, right? Because I was just going to make them discard it, so they can't hold it in reserve anymore. They have to be using stuff. Isn't that right? Get rid of the last card in your hand, and you lose 2 life. And get rid of that creature. And there's no reason for them to stick around anymore because we've used up all of their ammo. And there's just no way for them to do anything, and we've got a whole bunch of cards that we didn't even bother to use. So that's kind of what happens. And I haven't done much playtesting with this. The only thing I did... Ooh, Green Sun's Twilight. Nice! Let me go in and show you the full deck. The only thing I did was I had like the Fall of Lord Khan Enchantment Saga in here, and I took that out and put in a Path to Peril just to handle quick swarms. Which if we hadn't been able to do what we did, this might have been an example of quick swarms because they had a bunch of flying 1/1s and 3/2 defenders. Alright, so it's called Recurring Nightmare because I put Hopeless Nightmare in here. And as I said, we've got Meticulous Excavation. You spend 3, you return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. And that means we can just cast it again. So we've got infinite removal when we pair that up with Princess Takes Flight, because you exile the creature, and instead of it coming back on Chapter 3, we bring it back to our hand before Chapter 3, and it goes into the void. The creature's exiled forever. We can do something similar between Meticulous Excavation and Hopeless Nightmare, but we're doing hand destruction instead of creature removal from the battlefield. So here, the nice thing about this is that they also lose 2 points of life every single time that we play this card. So, you know, we bring it up, bring it down, 2 points every turn if we have enough mana, and we have a Meticulous Excavation to bring it up and down. What else do we have? I do have 1 copy of Break the Spell in case I'm busy doing one thing or the other, and they're going to get a creature back with Princess Takes Flight. I can break the spell, make sure that they don't get anything back, and I got 3 of the copies of Princess Takes Flight in the library. We've got 1 Invasion of Dominaria for card draw and life gain, and we can maybe get a 4/4 Angel with Flying and Vigilance later. I've got 3 copies of Render Inert. I had a deck recently, I only played 1 copy of the card, and I loved it, and so now I'm playing 3 copies in this particular deck, because I've got a lot of invasion cards, and I don't have a lot of creatures, so this is a nice way for me to get rid of the counters without having to get past a bunch of creatures myself and get a creature. We've got 3 copies of Gix, the Yawgmoth Praetor. We've got the 1 Path of Peril I mentioned to destroy all creatures. We've got 2 copies of Realmbreaker Invasion Tree, and this is kind of why I settled on Praetors, so this is kind of a combination deck. Not only am I using the previous infinite creature removal that I had before, I'm also adding in this Tergrid's Lantern concept from the YouTube comment from one of our loyal subscribers. Although he did say that he hated the idea. I think just hated the idea of having to play against it. And then we also mixed in the idea of actually sacrificing Realmbreaker for 10, as you see at the bottom, and search our library for any number of Praetor cards, put them onto the battlefield, and shuffle. So what I've got is nothing but Praetors in the deck for my creatures. And as I said, we don't have a lot of creatures. I'll show you the overview. 9 creatures, 27 non-creatures. Average is smack dab 3.0 with 24 lands. And so Yawgmoth is a Praetor. We've got 2 copies of Elish Norn, who's a Phyrexian Praetor. We've got 2 copies of Sheoldred, of course, the Apocalypse, who's a Phyrexian Praetor. 1 other Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. This one from Phyrexia, well, this one's from March of the Machines. And then the other version of Sheoldred, just not Sheoldred the Apocalypse, just plain Sheoldred from March of the Machines. So we got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Praetors. And, you know, if the game lasts long enough that we have 10 mana, and we can sacrifice this and bring a lot of them onto the battlefield, why not have fun with that? What else do I have? I've got, as I said, I have a lot of invasions. I have Invasion of Eldraine to make them discard a couple cards. We could get back a fairy if the player has 2 or fewer cards at the beginning of their upkeep. The Prickle Fairies does 2 damage to them. We've got Invasion of Innistrad to give them -13/-13 to a creature. That's with Flash. And then we get Deluge of the Dead enchantment after that. We've got Invasion of Tavada to return target a non-battle permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And that could be an enchantment saga, could be an enchantment, could be a Praetor, who knows. And we have Invasion of Ravnica to exile a target non-land permanent an opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. Final Invasion of Fiora. We have our choice to destroy all legendary creatures or destroy all non-legendary creatures. Since we're dealing with Praetors, we have all legendary creatures, so if they don't, we could do a one-sided board wipe, keep all our legendary creatures and destroy whatever non-legendary they have on their side. And to round out the deck, we have 1 copy of Long Reach of Night. It's an enchantment saga. This is another kind of creature removal, right? We could, well, we give them the choice. They sacrifice a creature or they discard a card. We could also maybe pair this with Meticulous Excavation, and it kind of combines both the Princess Takes Flight and Hopeless Nightmare into one, right? It's just their choice of which one of the 2 they're going to have to suffer. And then we also have 1 copy of Beseech the Mirror, where we could search, cast an exiled card without paying its mana cost if we bargain the spell and the mana value is 4 less, or we just put it into our hand. And most of what we have is 4 drops or less, so we could conceivably go get pretty much anything we want, with the exception of these 5 cards in the entire deck. So that's the idea. Before, when we did the infinite creature removal, it was in a mono white deck. So this is just kind of showing you that we can mix colors in there. You can still have your infinite creature removal with white if you want, but there is room to do 2, 3, 4 colors maybe. The imagination's the limit. Right now we're in a pretty good spot where if you want to play 5 colors, you can. We've got the mana source for it. And that seems like a bad draw, but they give me 2 lands, but they're both the same legendary land, and I can only play 1, so that's kind of like being dealt 1 land. We might just have to scoop real quick. I just had some morbid curiosity to see what Arena was gonna do to me here. And we're waiting. It's turn 3. It is one of the most important turns in the entire match, so I understand why it takes him a long time. Okay, let's do Realm Breaker. We still need a black mana source. They do have ways to remove Realm Breaker, though, so if they have that up front, they might not be afraid to use it. They don't have a lot in the entire deck if this is the pre-made deck. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like the standard pre-made deck. Is there anything they could get Gloomshrieker back if they exile the Undead Butler? They're already making zombies. Interesting choice. Okay, that gives us that. Let's go ahead and populate the graveyard with more stuff. 3 lands. I think I just did them a favor. Well, we'll take that. We do need lots of land to power our spells. Do what we want to do. Did they just blitz that? They really want a quick knockout, don't they? Ouch. Down to 11 already. Alright. Yeah, got a shield. And let's make them discard a card. If they have removal, at least not bringing the underdog back this turn. What do we have? They could bring back the underdog, the dissenter, or the Gloom Shrieker if I block the Undead Butler. Ouch. That's good for us. If they don't blitz that and they just bring it down because they think they have time now, maybe we can just exile it. I might need to scry and get it into this activation so I can get the instant removal. Did they blitz that again? Why did they bother bringing it back from the graveyard if they were just going to blitz it again? Yeah, well. Alright. We get a life point back, yay! Okay, I need to keep my mana free to use a Ganjo because they're gonna attack with the underdog again, right? Seven, 8. I'm actually close. I can't use a Ganjo as it. Oh, hello. That's not using the underdog. So you made it 5/5. This is just exile you. And go get our 10th land. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's only the 9th land. And black, and we pass, and we're nearly dead. But I don't think there's any other way for them to get a haste kind of thing going. They could just use the Tpull Caller's Harvest, right? They're looking at the graveyard like they're going to bring something out. Just the underdog. Okay. 2 energy left. Okay, so they bring down a 3rd creature. We're down to 1. All right. 3, 3. Okay, I've got just enough to exile 2 threats. And then I can use a Ganjo if they use Tenacious Underdog, but if they use Goopcaller's Harvest, I might be in a bit of a spot here. They do use the Underdog, thankfully. And now I have Meticulous Excavation, and I don't think I can do what I need to do now because I can't stop a Blitz attacker, can I? Shoot. Neither one of those are going to help. I think I'm just dead now, right? Because there's nothing here that gives me a creature. And I needed something by now to block. And I couldn't get the 10th land to activate that and bring everybody out in time. Maybe I held on to the Princess Takes Flights too long, trying to wait for this to come down. You just blitz that in and that's going to be game. Probably misplayed that somewhere. If I'd taken out maybe Cold Conscript earlier. Well, it was a bad hand with 3 of the same thing. And only 1 white mana that I could play in the opening hand. So, I kind of feel good that we got as close as we did. I still think maybe I did something wrong there. That maybe I could have stalled just long enough to have gotten the Praetors out. But hopefully I get a better draw this time. One thing I don't have in the deck really is much Graveyard Hate. Between the discard and the exile, I kind of counted on being able to take care of everything up top, so to speak. And we had no creatures the entire last round, and we've got 3 of our 9 already in our opening hand. That's the kind of stuff that makes you think that Arena has a memory of some sort, right? Dinosaurs are fast. Let's go ahead and just do that for right now. Are they going to destroy the enchantment? Did they not realize that won't get them back what they want? Okay, I don't think they know how that works. The creature doesn't return to the battlefield the way they want it to. That's fine for us. Let's do Elish North. And they have Italy. They can't attack yet. That's perfect because Eldraine Norn stops Italy. Yeah? Sorry, the other Eldraine Norn. This stops any enter into the battlefield effects of the opponent. Doesn't stop haste and toxic. But we're still too high health. They can't really afford to bum rush us just yet. You can see it's a big dinosaur deck. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. I think it's okay for us to just pass here. 4 points of damage. They pay to avoid losing the life. And that's what you're going to choose to do 7 points of damage. Bingo. Let's get rid of one of these that they can spend any color. Then we can bring this down and bring you back up. You lose the creature. If we don't get infinite discard, we'll take infinite card removal, creature removal. Oh, that's kind of a fun card. We'll take you away first, and then we'll give you the choice. You want to lose a card or lose a creature? They throw away their Italy. Oh, that's gotta hurt. They were just so far now. They're at 5 mana. That would give them 6. Only one more land and they might be able to cast it. Disturb Slumber gets to be a 4/4 with haste. They're trying to take this out. Let's go ahead and just take out that and take out that. That'll take down 4. And they can afford to pay the two of the mana, but they're still going to lose 4 life, right? Thanks to Eldraine Norn's effect. We'll give +2 to that Eldraine Norn. They've got to sacrifice a creature, basically, right? They've got a creature, they've got a choice there. There you go. We will go ahead and attack with you. We will bring you back up. We will bring you back down and get rid of you. Oh, I can bring that down too. And we can mill you. Is that a second Italy? They had 2 Italies. How about that? Down to 4 life, but we beat a dinosaur deck. Dinosaur decks are all the rage now, back in fashion. It's kind of hard to blame anyone with Ixalan in the dinosaur theme. And they gave us Italy before they brought Ixalan back. I don't have an Italy yet, but half of everyone else does. Maybe 95% of everyone else does. Maybe people have been crafting their wild cards to get Italy. If they weren't before, they might now, just to make the dinosaur tribal. No white mana source. But that is kind of all that we need to get things going. Start with discard. There are two types of players, those that will play against discard and those that absolutely hate playing against discard. There are some people that will scoop if you play a turn 1 discard card on them. Our opponent wants to play. Poison deck? Are you all poison? Removal card. Okay, now I just need to not miss a land drop, right? We missed a land drop. Thank you, Arena. We win a game, and we get land shot. Great. They get a nice little mana curve, even after we made them discard 2 cards. We get everything they need to get their stuff in place, and we're just gonna die of land starvation. Every day on Arena. Oh, Mirror Match. What happened? Yep. 3 turns, no land. Half dead. And not really much chance to do anything now. Their opponent's going to get to refill their land. They're confident in all the life they have because they have such a big advantage. Hey, we finally got a land when it's too late to actually accomplish anything. Because they probably have removal in their 6 cards right now. 6-3, and that's pretty much going to be game. We're just going to get out of here because our opponent just writes out of time. It's hard to say that those rounds count for anything. This has all pieces of our combo right away. Is Arena apologizing? Wait and see if they give us a 3rd land. 2 copies of the same enchantments. Not the best start. We made them think like they're a blue player. And no land. Thanks for nothing, Arena. 2 games in a row where you give me just 2 lands. That's very fair. They're looking at our stuff like they're afraid. If I don't get any land, you don't have a reason to be afraid. Aha. Alright. We're back in business. Finally. We're not out of the woods because they have a lot of haste potentiality here. We wanted land, we're just not getting the land. They see the combo now. Can they do anything to stop it? Nice. Stop it with another turn like that. You have to pick up 6/6. I think we're dead. We kind of have to get rid of this so they don't get the 6/6 back. I suppose we could have done break the spell and brought down Gix, but that wouldn't have necessarily done much either. When they're putting on a threat every turn, we just can't afford to get land starved that much, that often. Really long to see that they had lethal. Alright, Arena, can we have a game where I don't miss land drops for a change? Well, while we're on commercial break waiting for our opponent Bad Goat to pick up the controls and decide what they're going to do, let me remind everybody visiting Tpull's Corner, if you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't done so yet, hit the like button, that helps us. We want to let other people know we're out here. And after a couple rounds of being mana starved, we get 3 lands in the opening. Oh, 4 lands, so now maybe we'll just get flooded, yeah? We'll see. I think it's okay to play the Nightmare. And it's okay to play the Excavation. Lose a card or lose a creature? What's more important to you? They like their cards. That's good information to know. Have you get rid of a card. And they kind of walked right into my trap. There goes a Line Blanker Baloth. We bring Nightmare back up. We bring Nightmare back down. 2 discards in 1 turn using all 5 of our mana. But really, even though we're using Meticulous Excavation to do it, we're only playing a 1 mana spell twice in the turn, basically. Getting rid of a couple of big creatures. Get rid of you now. And although we can make the deck work on 3, the deck is really perfect to work with 6 lands. But that's fine, we're going to do the attack now. Flying 6 coming your way. We can bring this back up and permanently exile the Fighter of Vigor. And we can still make them discard the last card and lose 2 life. Once we do that, it becomes pretty simple. Yeah, you gave me some lands for a change. That seems to be the story of my life on Arena. According to the statistics that Wizards emails me once a quarter, I play more games than almost anybody. Like I'm in the top, depending on what month it is, I'm in the top 95 to 95% for games played on Arena. And if you give me the land, I've got a decent chance of winning. But I think that's enough games for y'all to get the idea of what we're looking like. We didn't get certain cards, though. We didn't get a lot of our invasion cards. Most of our Praetors never showed up. And I didn't get to use Beseech the Mirror, which is a fun card. So this is a fun deck. At least it's fun for me when I'm playing it. I'm used to this infinite removal combination I discovered during the early access of Eldraine. And then, of course, adding in the Hopeless Nightmare really helps. I mean, it seems like this was even easier when you get any 2 of these 3 cards and enough land to power it up. It seems like it plays even faster than my mono white deck that just used this kind of strategy. I like having the invasions in there. We didn't get much of a chance to use Render Inert, so I don't know. I just don't want the video to run too long. I don't want too many complaints about that kind of thing. But I feel like there's still a lot to this deck that you haven't quite seen demonstrated too. But I'm happy because we did get the main points, right? The regular old thing and the new thing that we threw in. And you saw them all work in combination with each other. And they work really well together. So I'm happy with that. But I think I'm going to hold on to the deck longer. I do this sometimes. I've got like 100 decks. I'm usually making a new one and then exporting it and getting rid of it. I'm probably going to hang on to this one longer just because there's other cards in here that I want to have more fun with that haven't sort of come up in the draw yet. But I am interested, as always, to hear your comments, your feedback on the deck, what you think of the combos, what you might do different, that kind of thing. So remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one. And it looks like NVIDIA is messing up again, so it's not going to stop the recording, is it? Okay, we're going to show you a trick. If I can get the GeForce Experience to actually connect with the internet and do what it's supposed to, I'm not going to edit this out. I'm going to just show the trick for how you solve this current problem. Or maybe I won't. It looks like the whole thing went on the fritz, doesn't it? They didn't do yet another software update, did they? No, I've got the right. Let's go settings. Okay, found my rig. Oh, it disappeared the other. Oh, there we go. In-game. Okay, so we shut off the in-game overlay, and that's going to shut off the recording. And then you just turn that on again later and restore everything. So it should continue recording until it finally manages to take effect and record that my command is taking effect.